It has been a while. This is the Lian Li Lancool 207, and that's not the regular one, this is the new one, the digital one using a screen. And yes, I know that the box is upside down, yeah, that's not on them. It kind of opened in between, like upstairs and here, so yeah. There you go. This is the Lian Li Lancool. Ow. I hate that when it happens. This is the Lian Li Lancool 207, the new one, the cool one, the one with the freaking monitor in the front. And I think it's the first Lian Li case we have ever used on this channel. Exciting. So what do we got here? Of course, a tempered glass side panel, which I will just remove. So, Lian Li Lancool 207 digital. Now for today, before I start working on the review of this puppy, God, are these mesh holes big in the back. Looks hella cool. Anyway, before I start working on the review, I wanted to do a quick build, check out the case, how it feels. Oh yeah. Look at this front here. This yells performance right there. God, this is going to be so cool. Anyway, before I digress even more, so for today I wanted to do a quick build on this thing, see how it works, see how it performs. I got a system, we will have a system ready. Now for the case itself, it's a Lancool 207 with additional monitor in the front, which I would love to show you right now, but yeah. Other than that, we got two 140mm fans in the front pre-installed. We got the two 120mm fans, which you can hopefully see here, in the bottom, pushing air into the GPU, and that's such a cool feature because the power supply is moved towards the front, which I find, oh, there is a little box of goodies. And no screws. Did you see so far? I opened half the case, no screws. That's really cool. This is just the cable. Oh yeah, now I get it. This is the cable for the monitor. Because the monitor in the front is running on USB 2.0, so you got a USB 2.0 internal to external adapter, and then you got a little PCIe bracket with a cutout, so that if you don't have any internal headers left, or I don't know what motherboard you have, then you could potentially adapt it and then push out the cable towards the back and then just mount it into the rear of the motherboard, which I won't do. Well, the motherboard is new, I haven't used it so far, so let's just hope I don't need it. And then we got the box of mounting screws and whatnot. So as I said, two 120mm fans in the bottom, they can breathe not necessarily freely, but very free. You got all of this mesh right here. On the side, you got a hole in the back where air can get in, and the power supply is located here, and it will pull the air from the bottom and then push it out towards here. Three 120s in the top, or a 360mm radiator. Yeah, and that was pretty much the case, I guess. For the build today, I bought a bunch of stuff. The only old thing I'm going to use is my 4080 because it's all black and it's like the beefiest GPU that I have available right now. But the new stuff is a 9950X3D because I also need it for another project. But a 9950X3D, very beefy CPU, very beefy CPU, and what goes along is this Asus ROG Strix X870F gaming Wi-Fi. Why are motherboard names so freaking long? It's brand new. I just bought it for this video and then later for something else I want to try out. But yeah, as black as possible. Tiny touch of RGB, but I don't mind because we also got for today the Lian Li Galahad 2 Lite 360 Performance. And if you've seen the review, this is a hell of a AIO, and it is a Lian Li one, and it got like a RGB ring in the center, so on the water pump combo. So we got a tiny touch of RGB. But what we also got here for today is Lian Li sent over one of their Edge PSUs. One of them where the power connectors come out in like the bottom, so in this case here, and I really wanted to work with one for once, and yeah, it's a Lian Li case, so all of this makes so much sense. Then as a last little addition, I ordered a new pack of black and grayish cable extensions because, yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but we are talking a lot of black today with a touch of gray now. So, yeah. Why do I feel like I forgot something? The SSD is there, back fan is there. We got the motherboard, the GPU, the CPU, the power supply, the AIO. No, we got everything. Why do I feel like I forgot something? I guess at this point, let's just get going and see how working with an Edge power supply, which I haven't before, and with the Lancool 207 digital, how all of that turns out. And yeah, I'm excited. Ooh. RAM! I forgot RAM! This Asgard kit here. Because why not? Ooh. I paid way too much for this CPU. No joke, I had to pay partially scalper prices, and I've asked my contact who's working with AMD. There is no 9950X 3D for Europe right now. No, that I could get. So yeah, I had to pay scalper prices. Or not necessarily scalper prices, but like too much, way too much. But yeah, unfortunate. Take a very good look at the CPU. It's the last time it's going to be as clean as it is here. Another miniature shout out to Lian Li here, because I think the mounting that they, I don't want to say invented, but that they implemented for the Galahad 2 Lite is just amazing. They did a fantastic job with that one. There we are. Okay, now we are finally ready to get to the main component of the day. Let's get the motherboard in there. Now, I've read the review guide and everything what Lian Li has published, be it officially or just like sharing with other reviewers about this case. And there are a few things which are worth mentioning. Because they gained so much space here in the bottom, because they moved the power supply towards the front, which yeah, it's kind of counterintuitive, but if you think about it, there is no motherboard here, so you don't care about the space. So this one can be elevated, this one can be lowered down, so you can lower down the motherboard without actually hitting anything. And if we are very, very honest here, they could floor the motherboard. They would, of course, lose the bottom PCIe slot, that's another topic, but they could theoretically floor it. And apparently this also gives them a quite big advantage in the top, because now you can install... Oh, this is that new Wi-Fi Asus antenna that you just like slap in there. Oh, that's cool. So what they also gained is a lot of space in the top, which is beneficial if you're talking about stuff like push-pulling. We are not planning to do, but this one gives you an advantage. Or at least if you use thicker fans or thicker radiators, let's say you use an Arctic liquid freezer and you would like to tune it with like 30mm fans. I almost forgot what a enjoying thing it is to install a motherboard standing upright in front of a camera. This is not particularly good. Okay, so I just noticed something. I really, maybe you saw the second where I started to like look at the back and not say anything about it. So I got the feeling that something here isn't quite aligned as it should, and it is not. But now I can point my finger to what. I hope you can see it. I will try to give you the angle where you can see it. So the gap in between the motherboard and the case is not the same if you go along the motherboard end. And that's basically because this whole part here in the back is quite bendable. I can bend it so that it is where it should be. My best guess or my hope is that by installing a GPU, I will push this slightly towards the front, giving me that millimeter in the bottom. But or if I remove the motherboard, I could like bend it into the other direction. But yeah, that's not quite what I expected, to be honest. Huh. So I need to rethink a bit in which order I will do stuff. But I think my best course of action is to first install the AIO in the top, so that we have that out of the way, then the back fan maybe, and then the power supply. Yeah, I just realized it's basically the usual route. Just that the power supply sits in the front instead of the back, but that's like the whole difference. So yeah, okay, let's just install the AIO. Oh yeah, this beefy thing. A very cool thing about this case so far is that everything, and I mean really everything, is just popped in. And I love this pop mechanic here. There we go. Okay, plus a bit of cable management. But let's get to the PSU. I haven't unboxed this one, so I'm not even that sure what awaits me here. Okay, this... Oh yeah, there's that PWM hub and USB hub that these Edge power supplies also provide. And ta-da! We got a hub. Oh yeah, and you can, like, this is magnetic and you can clean it. Which, has anybody ever cleaned that? But yeah, the whole concept is really cool. We'll find out in a minute if it's actually worth it. Huh. They do look braided. Like the cables are not just like rubber, but they are like rubber with a texture. So they do look kinda as if they are braided, even if they are not. Anyway, now the PSU goes into here. And the external power plug plugs in from this side. You need to plug it in. And Lian Li also kind of thought about this, because this here is just two tiny screws, the only screws inside the case, and there you go. If I use this power supply and I install it like this, the way that I wanted to install it, to have the plugs like coming in from the top, that would mean that I am pulling air from here and pushing it down and then out in the front. Which is not the airflow path that I initially thought I would do. For some reason I thought it's going to be like this, and then pulling air from the bottom and then out in the front. That would make so much more sense, but with this PSU it is just simply impossible. Oh, okay, pulling air from here out in the front. Getting that power supply in there isn't quite as easy as I thought. Like, it's... And you're pulling all the time or something. There you go. I don't know what I expected, but I did think the power supply situation is going to be easier. Now, first, of course, the fact that I'm pulling air from the top and then pushing it down to like the left side is not making me quite as happy as I would have loved to be. A, because we completely lose like this bottom intake that we have, and B, because we push hot air, or power supplies don't get that hot nowadays, but hot air is circulating here, which can then be picked up and then pulled back in here, which I generally don't want to see, but that's basically what will happen at some point. Unfortunate. And getting it in wasn't as easy as I thought it would have been. I mean, I guess having these connectors in the bottom, that makes sense in this case. I hope you can see it in the B-rolls, but you got a lot of space to work with, and you need that space, so I'm happy that I have it now. But yeah, I kinda expected this to be slightly better. On the other hand, installing the cable should be quite easy. And with that, last step of the day, GPU. Are you ready to watch like 45 minutes worth of memory training? Yeah, I knew I forgot that. I just knew it. Okay, now. This could have been such a cool build. The interior, the ARGB stuff and everything looked so cool. The build looks so cool. And look at where we are. I reached out to Lian Li. They will send a replacement for the review because it just doesn't make any sense to review the case like this. And I rewatched all of the raw footage from like this morning. And it seems to me like this came out of the box like this, which also makes sense. Nothing ever touched the front display, but it's cracked, and it's not the plastic on top that sits on top which is cracked. It's really the panel behind it, and I guess even if I would have wanted to crack it, I would need to first damage the front layer, so this came out of the factory like this. You can see once I turn on the power supply, the Lian Li logo popped up, and there you can see like lines, like a fade of the Lian Li logo going across the monitor, and on the left side there is something which shouldn't be there, so the whole thing came out broken. Very unfortunate. Lian Li, please fix it. I just got the message that it will send a replacement. I don't know anything else, if this is like a widespread issue or whatever, I don't know. But this is where we are right now, which is very unfortunate because it looks so cool, and Lian Li's L3 Connect software works so well with this thing, and I can turn it into a monitor, I can show a bunch of stuff, and it's so freaking cool. And I'm so pissed that it doesn't work right now. And especially because the case functions so well. I benchmarked, a quick benchmark basically, CPU and GPU, and the CPU was sitting at 76.3 degrees C in this 24 degrees C room at 200 watts. Fermark, the CPU burner test from Fermark. Such a good result. I'm very happy with that. The GPU as well, 66.1 degrees C on GPU, on Fermark GPU stress test, 1080p all in. And the GPU was pulling 340 watts, the CPU was pulling about 200 watts. The PC works so well and nothing even had to spin all the way up, and the airflow, I mean, it works great. It really does. Like, even right now where the fans aren't spinning, or spinning at bare minimum because everything is idling, there is no restriction. I mean, the airflow path, everything works great. Now, one thing which doesn't work so great, and it's basically also my issue with the case, like the whole thing with the PSU, especially that Edge PSU from Lian Li. It's a cool idea, it functions well, but getting it in there, that was hard. Like from how was the build, how did the build go standpoint, that was a point where I wasn't so happy with it. PSU and cable management, that's basically the two topics which I am not happy about with this case. Because I used that Edge PSU, I had to turn it around, basically pull air from the top and out in the front. And what basically happens, unfortunately, is we get a bit of recycling. I hope you can see it. I hope you can see how here the PSU is pushing the smoke out, and part of that smoke is being pulled in by the bottom fans, which are pushing it back into the GPU, and that's not perfect. I mean, it's not dramatic. The PSU isn't getting that hot, especially this one. It's like 1000 watts PSU, and the whole system can't even get close to that load. So there shouldn't be that much issue, but it is a general issue that I have with the case. Other than that, we got the whole cable management issue, which isn't really an issue. Cable management options are fine, but they are restricted given that I used extensions, especially the one on the GPU. There is a hole in the front here where my GPU cable comes out, which looks so freaking clean. However, you will need to route it underneath those two fans, and the cable gets stuck in the fans all the freaking time. There's like a very specific position. I used so many zip ties to get it as tight as possible so that it doesn't touch the damn fan, but that happens very quickly, and you cannot use all of this area here for stuffing, which usually I would in a regular case, but in this specific case you cannot do that, and that's annoying, let's say. But other than that, the case functions fine, very fine. The airflow inside of this case is amazing. I will do probably a bunch more. Yeah, the room is like full of smoke now. I should stop. Anyway, airflow path's great, no buildup. Cooling inside of this case is amazing as far as I can tell for now, but I will leave the rest for the review. I cannot say a word about that display. It's broken, I have no clue. I just know that the software side of things works fine, but the hardware side of things, I mean, you can see where we are at. Very unfortunate, and that means that the review can't come out for the NDA release. Whenever the case or the replacement case will arrive, I don't know, we'll see. They know about it. Very unfortunate, but if I will wait for the review and I will recheck with Lian Li if this is a widespread issue, or maybe with other reviewers once they release their videos. I hope not. I really hope not. Very unfortunate, but the build looks... I'm very happy with the all blacked out thing. A bit of RGB, a tad of RGB, I'm fine with that. How unfortunate. How unfortunate. But okay, I think I will leave it here and I will return to the case once the replacement case comes back, because there is so much to say about this case. It's a really cool case, just very unfortunate about the monitor, and I hope this is not a widespread issue, but yeah, let's just stop here before I say anything that will make me even madder than I am right now. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you want to continue, have a look at this build which didn't fail. And this fail wasn't my fault either, but I'm just saying. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.